Permission to get techier than techie things on this, the 2nd of the 6th, 2025. It's still the gift that keeps giving is this Maximilian Verstappen move, right? Since he's come out and apologised, we'll talk about that. Christian Horner too has come out and made a statement. We'll talk about that. The world is watching and reacting. We'll talk about that. And plus, we've got new footage. We've gone away and listened to the radio, and we'll talk about each and every single one of those aforementioned bits and bobs. And it is techie, this. Of course, we're talking about the Maximilian Verstappen revenge attack on the back of the dude feeling a tad aggrieved. Does the second excuse the first? And it's techie, isn't it? Probably not, but you understand why we're drawing causation lines, are we not? Now, this is the footage. Again, I'd show it to you, but the FOM would come in for me and kill me. Now, pay particular attention to the way that Max is looking and the angle of his hands on the steering wheel. There are two things that you can extract for this. Absolutely, Maximilian Verstappen knew that George Russell was there and almost waited. This was a destruction derby-esque move. Of course it was. But again, the equal and opposite causation side to that is the fact that Max Verstappen felt aggrieved. Sometimes we each and every single one of us are going to do things that we don't regret. So again, pay attention to Max's steering angle. That would imply therefore that there was mens rea, that this was intentful, that Maximilian Verstappen quite deliberately steered himself into George Russell's car. Why did he do that? Well, because he felt that that's exactly what George Russell had done to him into turn one previously. Now, again, I state for the avoidance of doubt, let the record show. Does the first move excuse the second? Absolutely flipping not. Would I do it? I hope I wouldn't, but I do understand. Now, the guys and girls over at Reddit have gotten their Twitter fingers out, haven't they? And they reacted. Listen, let me contextualize this with this. The guys and girls over at Reddit, for the most part, in my humble experience, are nerds and virgins. F1 thoroughbreds, do you know what I mean? Grey, grizzled F1 veterans, and they reacted as follows. Let's read some of these out and then we'll react to them afterwards. Of course, he knows it's his biggest strength. It's knowing how far he can go before crossing the line. Another Redditor response, in my opinion, doing this is race ban worthy or at least a disqualification. Black flag settings, just like Nico Rosberg, eh? He slows down intentionally to let George be close enough to then hit him. It's not remotely close to a defensive move, and now we know he's admitted it. And of course, that Redditor is referring to the fact that Maximilian Verstappen has since responded on Instagram and said that move should not have happened. He came within a hair's breadth of apologising to the four-season 5-time champion, but didn't go all the way. Interesting this. Another Redditor says they should have just black flagged him immediately and discuss about the penalty points after the race. Let's check out some more, because there were reactions upon reaction to this most controversial incident. And I'm reminded, by the way, of 2021 lap 44 turn 4. I want to say the instance and the reaction was similar. If you will recall, that everybody wanted to see the steering angle of Maximilian Verstappen's car with a view to throw the book at him. Then it came out on the Monday and the Tuesday, and then thereafter there was evidence definitive. Another Redditor said it looks so much worse from this angle. I would say it's insane he only got a 10-second penalty, but everyone knows the stewards are scared to penalise Max Verstappen properly. Now, to that point, is it interesting that he got 3 points and not 4? In my memory, if I recall correctly, normally they do 2 points at a time, right? 2 points or 4 points. 3 points leaves Max Verstappen precariously close to a one race ban, but not on it. And again, 2 points for the avoidance of doubt will drop off of Maximilian Verstappen's super license after the Austrian Grand Prix this year. Hence why he keeps doing this ish, says the J Clay. Since 2021, says another one. 11 of 12 points on his super license. One more issue move this year and he's going to get banned for a race. Oh, the humanity. But you guys let me know what you think of this in the comments. It's controversial, isn't it? I suppose it depends upon which side of the fence you sit as far as Maximilian Verstappen. But again, on this channel, what we don't want to ever do is sacrifice truth, value and objectivity at the altar of partisanship. I think there is an extent to which we can all say and agree on that Maximilian Verstappen, per his Instagram post, he probably shouldn't have done that move. I think we can all agree. But again, I would argue even that the more interesting thread at which I want to pull is the why and the how.
Safeguard deployment.
Pause, Cameron, to cut ahead of ourselves this scene. A lot's been made of the conversation that Maximilian Verstappen, under the umbrella heading of causation, that Maximilian Verstappen had with his legendary race engineer, the guy who doesn't normally make any mistakes, who keeps Maximilian Verstappen in check by giving him not too much nor too little, just right. Goldilocks and the three bears settings is what GP is. In this instance, however, it got a bit techie between the two. Some have said that the tyre decision, the decision to bring him in for a new set of hards, was ill-advised. That what they should have done is keep him out for another 10 laps on those soft compound tyres. For the likes of Antonelli, Piastri had all done the first stint on soft compound tyres, 20 or laps more in length. Therefore, of course, Maximilian Verstappen could do it with the benefit of hindsight. Let's have a listen to the conversation between the two, GP and Maximilian Verstappen, around the decision to pit under safety car circumstance for a brand new set of white labelled hard compound tyre. Roll the clip.
Safeguard deployment. Safeguard deployment. Dash positive. Dash positive.
Do we have another set of tires? It will make a difference. Fresh tires.
Max. Box and pick confirm. Strat 12 in pit lane. Box. Pick confirm. Strat 12 in pit lane. Strat 3, please, Max. White line on the exit. Strat 3, white line on the exit.
What the fuck are we? What is this tire?
That's the hard tire, Max.
Why? Why are we on a hard?
That was the only option.
Did somebody run it in the race?
Negative. Max. Double yellows, turn 10.
Chaos. Scenes of impossible levels of chaos. From Maximilian Verstappen, the balls that are red, and GP, his race engineer. God tier race engineers, some may say. You hear there that Max Verstappen in the radio, in the lead up to the safety car circumstances, if we're going to pit, you need to pit me for fresh tyres. It will make a difference. Lest we forget Abu Dhabi 2021. Uno reverse settings, some may argue. Maximilian Verstappen failed to specify, though, that he wanted fresh, soft compound tyres, red labelled ones. But again, I suppose it goes unwritten. But the problem with all of that is that Maximilian Verstappen had done a 3-stopper, using therefore all of his fresh red labelled soft compound tyres up until that point. If Max has specified soft compound tyres, which again kind of goes unwritten, then they would have had another conversation, right? He pits, Max Verstappen does, and is then surprised that he has fresh tyres on, but hard ones. How's he going to contend, manage, firefight for a fire-breathing dragon in Charles Leclerc behind him? So too King George Russell of King's Lynn, Norfolk behind him also, each one of whom have scrubbed softs, 2 to 3 laps on each. In front of him, Lando Norris and OJ Piastri in an MCL39 each, both of whom had 3 laps old red labelled soft compound tyres. He was on a hiding to nothing. I don't know what they expected him to do. But again, sometimes when you roll the dice, sometimes you won't be able to roll 6s. Sadly for Hannah Schmitz and co. over at the Bulls that are red, ultimately they'd played a blinder. They'd been rolling 6s almost entirely the 66 lap race at the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya, all until there was a safety car which scuppered their plans. At that point, the racing gods, fortuitous circumstances, turned their back on Hannah Schmitz, Christian Horner, so too Maximilian Verstappen. And to that, Christian Horner has fed back in an official statement saying the following, quote, Spain closes out the triple header and we leave Barcelona frustrated that we didn't take more from the race. No kidding, Sherlock. As a team, we attacked the 3-stop hard, which was the better strategy, and it was only the safety car which had us over, fortuitous circumstances, lack thereof. We would never have been as close to Lando if it wasn't for the 3-stopper. Touche. Christian Horner, he continues, the safety car came out at the worst possible time for our strategy. We had the choice to stay out on older tyres or to take a gamble with a new set of hards. Hindsight is always 20/20, but we made the decision at the time with the best information we had. The result, Christian Horner continues, that followed was frustrating as it was looking to be an easy podium for Max and good championship points. Max apologised. Again, this is where it gets techie and techie things. Max has apologised in the debrief for this incident of the race with George. The safety car also hurt Yuki's race. He would have been very close if not in the points. Otherwise, you look at the trajectory he was on. It's techie. It's motor racing. This stuff happens. You can't always roll sixes. And sadly for Maximilian Verstappen, 49 points now adrift of one OJ Piastri. I don't know where he goes from here. Forcing to be 5-time champion, Cameron CC. About what are you talking, sir?